What's up everyone, welcome to another live stream. Happy Thursday. The week is almost over and the month is almost over as well. So we have 2 trading days left in September and then we get into Q4. So yeah, basically 3 months left until the end of the year. Hope you guys are having a productive year so far, positive. And then it's preparation for 2025. Well, looking at today's market, because that's what we are doing in this live stream. We are looking for the best opportunities for tomorrow's session. Basically looking for A+ setups in here. So looking at that, first let's take a look at the news and what happened today, and then we are going to be looking for the next opportunities for tomorrow. So we had Swiss National Bank, which didn't surprise anyone, and it cut rates again. So another 25 basis points. We initially had a spike to downside on dollar franc Swiss, and basically it stayed at the same price. So basically didn't really move that much. We had also GDP in the US, 3%. That was what was expected. This was the final GDP. Usually we have 3 GDP data being announced, right? We start with what is it? We start with advanced, then preliminary, and then the final. Like usually the advanced is the one that is more volatile because it's the first time that we are actually receiving the data in regards to the GDP. And when you get to the final one, it's after, at least it's the third revision of the GDP, and usually there is no surprise in there. So that was already priced in the market. In terms of unemployment claims, and this was an important one, all right, because unemployment, I believe, is going to continue to be the most important data that you are going to be receiving in terms of to see if the Fed is actually taking the right path or taking the right decisions with this rate cut, and if eventually we're going to go into a soft landing or actually into recession. And yes, unemployment claims is actually below the range of 220 to 230k jobs that usually we see around in this data. So 218, good data, even lower than expected. And that's basically it. We had plenty of kind of comments from Fed members, inclusive the Fed Chair Powell. That was already pre-recorded opening remarks, so there was no surprise. It was like a 2 minutes video that he just shared in this New York conference. And then many other Fed members in here that is creating a little bit of this move. So in terms of FX, if you're just looking at FX, it was quite rangy, so not really any direction. However, if you're looking at the indices, that's a different story, and that's exactly what we were looking for, and we mentioned that yesterday during the stream, and we have been looking for that for a while, which is when Nasdaq would get into this new range that we were looking for. We believed, and I believed, that we will be starting to see sell pressure in the indices, and that's exactly what happened. We had a really strong momentum in the morning, and as soon as the US Open started, actually right 10 minutes before that, then we started with this aggressive selling pressure on the indices. We are going to take a look at that in a bit. Now, yeah, I have no idea what candle is this. This is which we just printed. I don't know if this is real or not. Don't really know if there's anything in here. Just take a look at another data on the dollar index. Yeah, I don't really see that. I don't really see this candle in here, so I have no idea what happened just in here. Price was actually at that level. I don't really see that reaction either on the euro dollar and so on. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on in here. Basically, the reality of this price is that price stayed within this range today and not creating this candle. So I have no idea what candle is this. If it is a bug, if it's not really sure. Do you have any other DXY? Yeah, let's take a look at this one. It's actually quite different, to be honest. Yeah, it is quite different because price is also in here. This is totally different. Yeah, this one just stays in there as well. I have to be honest, I'm not really sure what the difference is in here. Yep, this one also moved to downside. These moves are quite more aggressive. All right, in this case, well, if it's in there, it's in there, and this is actually a level that we were looking to see if price reacted or not. Otherwise, from what I can see, even on the euro and so on, price didn't really move away from this range in there. So it doesn't change anything whatsoever comparing with yesterday, because this is basically the range where we traded today, and we are still looking to see if the dollar index does break, or continues now to move to the upside, breaking these highs in here, and potentially continue to go higher, or if it's just going to resume and come back into this range in here and eventually get to this level, which is basically where it is right now, and eventually challenging these lows as well. So that's something that we'll be looking for, and we'll see. We'll see if the dollar index is going to fake out this double low that was created in here, and what's going to happen after that. All right, so I haven't really turned completely bullish, and I mentioned, and the most important price action that I looked at was around these highs. If price again had broken this to the upside, that would have been a complete different scenario, and I'll turn bullish actually on the dollar. But because that never happened, all right, price actually in here managed to continue to respect these highs, and then it started to move to downside. I haven't really turned bullish in here, even though we had this big move or kind of start breaking some highs in here, and price actually reacted from a good level on the left, a level that I've been waiting for as well for quite a long time. So we'll see. We'll see if dollar index is going to continue or not with this bearish move. We also have euro dollar that managed to break the high, so maybe that's a sign that price wants to continue to move to the upside. It's true that we broke the highs yesterday when we saw a lot of sell pressure. However, that can actually be an engulf, an indication that you want to go higher. This is just a way to go and collect more buy orders until it resumes the move to the upside, and maybe that's actually what you are going to find in here on the euro dollar. But I'm totally open to the possibility of seeing dollar index to be trading around this level and potentially respecting this level in here without the need to go even further down and eventually take this low. If you do that, then you're looking for price to go and fill out this compression in here, at least go all the way below that low, and you're looking around this level, and this takes us around this 98, 99 mark in here at least, and then you'll see what's going to happen afterwards. So yeah, nothing has really changed in here at this point on the dollar index. The indices, all right, now this is the difference, right? So we talked about exactly this, and starting with the S&P, right? So again, the S&P has been breaking new all-time highs. Again, another day where we managed to break new all-time highs again, especially with this big momentum that we had straight away from the Asian session all the way through the London, and then around the US session or close to the US session. That's when you start finding this compression, and then price just turned with the opening. We talked about these lows yesterday, and this was a good level that price could still react from, since this demand zone was still fresh. But we start compressing and compressing and compressing, like, and eventually when you do have such a strong compression, we're just waiting for one more low to be broken, and then you can have the turn. All right, so we'll see if that's going to happen. Again, S&P is trading at all-time highs, so we are not really sure if these highs are going to be the ones that's going to now hold price down, or if price does want to create one more all-time high before I move down, right? So open-minded in that aspect, not really being too aggressive in terms of trying to sell double tops. I don't really advise anyone to trade double tops when we are at all-time highs, especially if you haven't really managed to break an important level of structure, opposite level of structure, in this case, these lows, right? Let price create some kind of liquidity, at least to create some range around this level if it wants to use that, something like that, right? That would be my advice in here. Now price is retracing a little bit, which is good. We did actually manage to leave this level behind. It looks like that price, this high in here, when it went down, this high in here, it never really retested that level, so that's nice to see. And maybe price can create a little bit of liquidity or movement around this level, pause a little bit, makes it respecting, and then creates a bit of a range and spiking like that. Okay, that would be a possibility to look for a sell still at the highs. Otherwise, yeah, let it just continue. Something else that could happen is if price by any chance actually respects something in here, it doesn't really go straight away through test those highs, respects something in here, comes back down, and now yes, and now takes these lows, That would be my favorite, to be honest. And then yes, then it goes all the way, and then you can use this level in there, again this level in here that we have. Then you can look for that scenario and look for this PI inside here, and then you could move to downside. Like if you do actually manage to break below this level, that would open the door for price to go further down without price making all the move down, come back up, retest something, and then go. And maybe that could react from this, from something in here that may be still fresh. So you could even fake out that low, or working over there and then go down, come all the way up, and then move down. Like that would be actually my favorite scenario on the S&P. All right, so now let's take a look at Nasdaq, which is basically the key point in here. Like, so what do you have? Like we have this level of structure, these highs in here that have been quite important in the past, working as a level of resistance. All right, so that was created all the back in, on the 18th of July this year. Meanwhile, price retested that level basically one time in here, or got very close to it, and respected again in here, and you found some more structure in there. And then you finally today, or overnight, yesterday actually, we managed to go all the way and break above. We had already broken the highs in there, but now we managed to continue to the upside. And what do you have in here, right? We have this level of the month in here, which is basically where price now respected. So we feel the initial space that was available, which was basically from this low all the way to the high. Where did this high reacted from? Perfectly. Right, so this high actually reacted from that supply in here. Right, so we're looking for that zone. That was one of the levels that you're looking for. We mentioned a little bit of this level, but we actually yesterday mentioned that maybe price had already reacted from it on the way down, which means that maybe it was weaker. And that's why then maybe price just literally skyrocketed through them, or through this level. But this level in here was still fresh, this supply level. So that was perfect in here. Yeah, that was perfect at around this zone, and that's exactly where price reacted. This initial sell pressure that we saw on Nasdaq. Now, price can definitely still continue to go to the upside. It can even go all the way there. It can maybe even retest this level as well in here, or it can even go to the next one in there as well. So we do have those different zones in here to pay attention to, which is something to be aware of. But for now, good reaction. So let's take a look at what happened then today. Right, so again, really good momentum in the morning, and then you start compressing a little bit, and then you had the turn. Like perfect reaction from the zone, and we turned completely again. Didn't really left or spend too much time around this level. Usually price could at least have some kind of reaction from here, then maybe go down a little bit and sell off. Nope, didn't happen. Price literally just came out of here and just dropped, and price never even retested this level in here. Like it started compressing straight away from this level, which means that maybe that level is still fresh in here, and that's a level that we may want to pay attention to when price comes back in here, maybe later on or tomorrow, preferably tomorrow, in there. Like, so we did have this compression, so I can actually maybe delete this. So price eventually managed to break this low. Maybe that's an important low in here. It's basically the last low that created the high, but we do have this important zone as well. This was a demand zone that managed price to break all the way above here, and price just break it through on the way down. So that's also an important zone in here. Yeah, so around this level, I wouldn't be surprised if price still reacts from it. Now, similar to S&P, price respected perfectly the low. Like there's no engulf to the downside in here. Price actually respect. I would actually prefer, similar to the S&P projection that I just did, I would actually prefer if price had broken this low and then move to the upside. This would mean for me more of an engulf to the downside, expecting price to move lower, which means that maybe I could still look for those sells at the highs in here. So at this point we haven't really had that happening just yet. So it's going to be quite important to see if price does retrace all the way back to the upside, or if before that we actually managed to break below this low. So that for me is key at this point. We need to open the door for price to go further down. Aside from that, we have all this compression, right? That basically started all the way from here on the way down. Price just compress until gain another momentum. So that's where we want to see price eventually retracing back towards to, right, to go above this high, even though there's maybe still this last level that is still fresh in here in alignment with this low in there, right? That's one of the zones as well where price usually reacts from. But yes, I want to see price going somewhere closer to this level, at least above this high. That's where I want to see price going towards to for a potential short again. Like, again, I would love to see this happening first. Now looking at the Dow, right? Looking at the Dow, price is approaching that level. Basically, we had this strong compression, price literally filled out that level in here. It didn't really manage to break this low, but it broke that low. It broke also this traction here. So I'm curious to see if price wants eventually to now to test back into this lower extreme of this range, which will take us into this level. But we didn't really manage to break below that level. So we'll see. Maybe we can have new highs, or there's enough PA around this level as well for price to react, like without even the need to break new highs. To be honest, we have a few left shoulders, we have the manipulation in here, so maybe price can still respect. If you actually pay attention to this level, price started already to break some lows in here, so that's an interesting level that price broke to the downside. So that's something to be aware of for sure. Right, so I'm curious to see how price may react from here, or even eventually if it breaks new highs. I think there's going to be opportunities to look for a sell straight away. I'm not really expecting now a lot of momentum in here. Momentum, well, momentum it was on the DAX. Like, I don't even know how DAX continues to be so bullish when you have so many issues in German, but it is what it is at this point. So let it go. Basically, price created new all-time highs. Again, we mentioned that price didn't really manage to break below this structure, which makes it still quite bullish. We talked about that price kind of respected level. We mentioned that maybe price actually managed to break slightly this low, but it didn't really manage to break this one. Like, and this one is actually the important one. So there you go. We have new momentum. Eventually, price can retest this level. Basically, there is a little bit of space in there that price never really reacted from. So there is this gap in there, and just continues. So let it continue to go higher. We need to see some weakness in here on the DAX before looking for any sells. So let it run, let it go. I'm not really touching it. We need to kind of respect when price is at all-time highs. We don't really want to sell the top without any further information. We are not here to predict just the tops just like that. We want actually to see some confirmation before that. We want to see some ranging. We want to see some manipulation. We want to see price being attracted to sell before we actually are interested in looking for the sells ourselves. So yeah, not touching it. In here, Nikkei, this one quite interesting, starting to go higher and higher when you have the yen index moving to the downside. So I'm still curious to see how price may react from this level. That's one of the levels that I want to pay attention to in here. So we'll see. Yen index. All right, so taking a look at crypto. There you go, Bitcoin breaking to the upside. So we managed as well. Price kept respecting the structure, which means that. And you had this double top in here, basically price retesting this structure, meaning that there was a lot of liquidity above the highs for price to go towards to, and there you go. We broke to the upside, we never managed to break below the structure, which means we are still bullish and we are looking for price to continue now, of course, to take these highs that basically already did it. And you have some structure in there and you are approaching again the 70k mark. So there you go. Is it this time that you are going to gain momentum again and you're going to see crypto and Bitcoin in particular are breaking new all-time highs? Yeah, we'll see. I think there's not many levels left at the highs for price to respect and hold. There's still this one. This one is still fresh in there above this highs, but then this will be another test close to the 70 mark. So we'll see. We'll see how price is going to navigate towards that level. Ethereum, that was another one. We talked about this demand zone, beautiful level. It's still far away, like it's nowhere near where Bitcoin is. So far away still, even from this highs, much more from the all-time highs. So we'll see. We still have this range that we need to overcome and to break to the upside from this highs. And then even above this highs, we have straight away this level of supply that can still be. Yeah, it can still be quite relevant, to be honest. In terms of Savannah, yeah, just let it go. Again, not really touching that at this point. Now, the indices, right? So we had a little bit of an interesting sell pressure on the euro dollar. in here, especially in the morning. So we managed to break above these highs, but you have the supply in there, and price reacted from it. Kind of still reacting now from this level in there. So that's maybe a little bit of a next level that you want to see this euro index reacting, and to see if you're going to continue to break to the upside. Not to manage to break these highs, then you manage to break these highs well while creating double bottoms, maybe starting a little bit of a bullish run in here. We'll see. We have this demand zone to hold it as well in there. So again, that's a little bit of a range in here on the euro pairs. Yeah, and then we have this yen index, and this is the one to pay attention as well. So we are compressing quite a lot. All right, we went all the way up in here. We kept respecting this high. We didn't really manage to break it, and we now broke new lows again. Like again, as I mentioned yesterday, there are opportunities to buy and to sell the yen pairs within the intraday. That's what happens when you have this type of compression move on the way. Like this is what I usually call the zone 3 type of a move, which is price compressing, price that looks like it's maybe creating the bottom, but no, price hasn't really managed to break any relevant structure, and then eventually price just finds new sell pressure at the highs until eventually continues to break new lows. Like, and it could be the opposite if you are looking to the upside in here. Right now, when you are like this, as you can see, price goes up, price goes down within the same trading session. So you could look for a long, then you can look for a short, and you are going to have the opportunities. And what matters in this moment, as I mentioned, is in terms of managing your own target expectations. Don't feel greedy and don't expect just price to go all the way to the moon, or to just continue to break literally lows in here, because that is not really in play at this point in here. Even if price looks like it's gaining a lot of momentum, it can just easily find some level of resistance in here. Another aspect when we are in the compression move, especially if you are in this case looking for that reversal, be careful trading double bottoms. Okay, be careful trying to trade double bottoms in here. Most likely you're going to be faked out, and only after that price is going to show another moment of reversal or retracement in this case. All right, so be careful trading double bottoms in here, and if it was the opposite, I would say be careful trading double tops in here. There's a high probability that price will fake you out and then move down, then continue to do a little bit more of the same, fake out again, and it will be moving like that. Right, so be careful with that in this type of zone 3 type of a move. That's a video that's it's going to be released. I'm making it, and it's going to come out in the next next few days. So yeah, so the yen pairs continue. Where are we getting? We are getting closer to this low, and that's an important one to pay attention. I think based on the approach, again, it's still missing a proper break to the upside, so we still don't really have a break in here. All right, so there's no break to the upside, so that's still missing. However, I'm curious to see if we're going to find some buy pressure at around these lows, right? This is basically the origin of this strong move to the upside. Now price came all the way back down, and this again took how long does it took? Like 16th of September all the way to 26. Basically took 10 days to go all the way down, when it took from the 3rd of September all the way to the 16th. So basically 13 days. Yeah, basically the same time distance in here between going up and down in here. Interesting enough. So let's see if we're going to find some buy pressure at around this level as the yen pairs continue to move to the upside, and the index to the downside. Now let's continue in here, and now let's take a look at the individual currency pairs. So that's where I'm going to find the opportunities that you are looking for in here. Right, so there you go. This was the euro. Yesterday did manage to break below that low. Price starting to move upwards. It looked like that in this moment price was about to just continue to move to the downside, but it paused in here. Right, it looks like that you have a strong level of support around this level, and price now is coming all the way back into this level. Before I mentioned that price had broken an important high. Yes, we did manage to break this high that was created back at the end of August in here, and maybe this is just a continuation now to the upside until eventually gets closer to that level. So we'll see what's going to happen in here. There's maybe some selling pressure at around this supply level. We did manage to break below that low, so maybe that opened the door to go further down, and with this maybe price just wants to get a little bit closer to the extreme before moving to downside. So that's something to track. We want to also see lows being broken on the way up. Nope, at this point he didn't manage to break it, so this level is still being respected. If this one breaks and then price continues to go higher, that's a different story. That's actually a good sign that maybe price wants then to sell from the highs. So that's something to track, something to follow, and to pay attention to in here on the euro dollar. Otherwise, price will just continue to go higher in here. But yes, for tomorrow morning, let's see if price retests this level. There's maybe something in here that the euro dollar can still react from. Like somewhere around this structure could be interesting, or even within here as well. In here, it was a lot of spikes already. Unless there is one last PM in here to look for. So those are a few of the levels in here on the euro dollar to look for. Pound dollar, right? So pound actually managed to break below that low, just respected this next level in here. All right, that's basically what we had, a strong demand zone in there that this low basically left behind. Never really reacted from it, and now it reacted and we managed to break new highs. Now the pound dollar, as you know, we have been more bullish comparing with the euro. We are looking for price to still look for more upside until eventually gets maybe closer to that level. We are still underneath this high. I still wanted to see going at least until there. And again, as I mentioned, can even continue and eventually challenge at least this high. And when you get into this high in here, then price will make a decision either to respect it or break into the compression. And then eventually in the bigger picture, we are going to go all the way back into this level. And that takes us almost close to basically, yep, almost 140. All right, we are still far away from it. All right, so let's see. First and foremost, around this 135, I think that could be interesting, where we're going to be looking for. All right, so we did manage to fake out the high. Price now went down a little bit, respecting this level. So we see, all right, again, I'm looking for price to fake out this high, and then after that, we could look for that sell pressure, which is going to be, again, what I'm going to be looking tomorrow. Again, it has been quite bullish yesterday. Yes, we had a bearish candle. Prices respected this level. It's another bullish daily candle that you have in here. And yeah, I'm looking for price. We can actually take a look into it. Second. So price is still respecting this level. I'm looking for price to get closer to this level in here. All right, a little bit closer to this level. There's maybe a decision point in there, and there's another one in here. So yeah, that's where I'm going to be looking for. Perhaps even this supply there. Yeah, compression. Yeah, then maybe this level as well. So we'll see. We'll see in here on the pound dollar. But for now, yes, I really want to take that high in there. Looking at euro pound is basically retesting these lows, okay, coming back into the demand zone. That's something that we were looking for. Price didn't even really reacted from that level, so that's a space that's open in there. And as I mentioned, I would like you to see creating new lows. I would like actually to see euro pound respecting a little bit this level, tracking more buy orders in here, and actually could be a long opportunity from here. And to be honest, faking out that level in there. So I think we could have some buy pressure at around this level. In here, but eventually I would like actually to see price breaking these lows, faking out that level, and then starting to show some more buy pressure as well as we create new lows. All right, as we get closer and closer and closer into this structure in there. So that's my take in here on the euro pound, and that maybe again to another sell opportunity on the pound dollar. Aussie dollar. All right, Aussie dollar as well, full U-turn in here. So basically respected that low in there, didn't even reacted from there, just respected it, and full turn as well. So basically all the dollar pairs basically did that. We did manage to break all the way above this double top in there. So I'm curious to see what the Aussie dollar is going to do. Maybe by breaking that high actually just means that price is ready to continue and eventually can continue to go higher and eventually get closer to that level. Now if we fake out that level, reacted from this level, that's good. But I think we could continue to see more upside in here on the Aussie dollar. Now this was still fresh. Price reacted from it, just respected the demand zone in here. So we definitely need to see this one being broken. So we'll see. We'll see if there's more sell pressure around this level before moving to the upside, or if this is enough and price now is ready to continue. That's something to also pay attention to in here. Looking quite similar as well on the New Zealand. All right, New Zealand still kind of getting closer to that level. New Zealand still respecting the high on the left side, so that's slightly different in terms of the info that we have in here. So we'll see what's going to happen at this point. Yeah, so we'll see in here. And New Zealand actually managed to break this low, right? Again, Aussie didn't really manage to. New Zealand managed to break below this low. So maybe actually it's a bit more of PA confirmation for a short in here on New Zealand, even though maybe you can even fake out the high in more time, comparing with the Aussie. So yeah, that's definitely something to pay attention to for price to go above this structure. Remaining of the Aussie pairs, like Euro Aussie, more sell pressure. Again, this is something that we're looking for as well. We're still looking for Aussie, Euro Aussie to get closer to this zone in here. So that's something that we are definitely be looking for. So we'll see if that eventually happens, and from there maybe we can start having that buy pressure at least below that level. That's definitely something that you want to look for. Yeah, maybe then after that we can look for a long. On Aussie also keep respecting that level in there. All right, Aussie Yen. So Aussie Yen, and you get into these Yen pairs, right? Because we know when Yen index has been moving to the downside, so that's something that we have seen, which means that these Yen pairs are moving to the upside. Now, Aussie Yen managed to finally break above this high, and I think there's more room to the upside closer to here, right? Given this high here kind of paused a bit in the middle, I think there's a little bit more room to the upside in here, and somewhere around this structure, we could see some sell pressure, even eventually towards that zone in there. So that's definitely something to pay attention to and something that will be tracking in here. All right, so basically price still respected this low, so there's no engulf to the downside. So let it just continue to break new highs and eventually get closer to this structure in there. Yeah, we are still kind of a little bit far away from it in terms of around almost 50 pips, 45 pips. So we will see. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen around this level. We do have this one at least standing out in here at this point. Basically price respected that level. Yeah, it created this level in here. This is decision point. It's around here where price made it, wanted to go higher, finally decides to go down. So decision point is actually around this level in here. That high to this level, and this is actually a great zone to potentially look for a sell. Yeah, but meanwhile price got really close to that level, then continue to go lower. It's another important point in the decision in here. That supply, then price started to create this one, respect, and this is where you find some resistance in here. So yeah, somewhere around that level it could be interesting. And then you're looking left, the actual price has that level of support resistance as well in there, which looks nice. But before that, we also have this one in here, which takes us into that level. Like, this is a little bit of an exercise that you can do. Just try to see where the fresh orders are. That's usually where price eventually is going to bounce from in here. All right, so then you can extend that to the left side and just see how price approaches the level and if actually reacts from it or not. Like, as you can see, there's definitely a gap in here, which is something that price can use, it can react from. Right, so that's something to bear in mind. You have all this structure in there. All right, and that basically is still, yeah, almost 40 pips away. So yeah, that's Aussie Yen, definitely something to pay attention to as we're moving forward. Aussie Dollar Yen, sorry, again, sell pressure, price then went to the upside in here. So it continues to create a lot of pressure, basically took the orders from this demand zone. So you see price is literally testing this high in here. There could be a little bit more of pressure somewhere at around this level, but eventually price is going to go all the way in there. I think the way price is moving, it would be nice to see a little bit of a retracement. Even to retest this level, I think there's a high probability that eventually you're going to have that trade. So looking for that sell opportunity can be interesting. We did manage to create kind of a double top in here. Not exactly double top, because price actually managed to break the high. It's not exactly double top in here. So yeah, we'll see if we're going to have some sell pressure in here. Again, if we start breaking into this level, we get into the compression, which means that we are going to go higher. But before I actually fill out the compression, we could actually have a turn, retest this level, and then from here maybe we can go all the way. You can even go it even deeper and then go all the way there. So that's something to bear in mind in here on the dollar yen. Something to keep in mind and to follow as well, right? As we continue to track the yen index and also paying attention to the dollar index as well. Yeah, so that's one to follow and to pay attention, because I think that's going to provide an interesting trading opportunity. We have also now the other yen pairs. Again, euro yen did manage to break a low. That was today with a strong move to the downside. In my opinion, you are still a little bit far away from where we want to go in terms of looking for that sell pressure. We start noticing the compression. I love this compression. I mentioned yesterday, if not mistaken, that something that was missing yet on the euro yen, it was a proper break of a low, like price was respecting the lows until today. Like there you go, we have our first break of a low, which is beautiful. Then we have the reaction straight away from the left shoulder and price goes higher. Eventually, when this move happens, the probability is for price to break the most recent high, okay? But then that doesn't mean that price will just continue to go higher. No, this is just the PA eventually for the turn. And you can start looking at this low as a break of structure and expecting price to move to the downside in here. Now, personally, I would still like to see this euro yen to get closer to this structure before the big turn. So I'm going to continue to track and looking for the euro yen to go a bit more to the upside in here. All right, that's still going to be a little bit more of my take, even though I know that we could start finding some sell pressure at around this level. Basically, that's what price is doing. Already managed to break below that low as well. So let's see if price doesn't really want to now just move to the downside from here. Maybe it wants. And this was actually maybe a good entry, to be honest. Already broke this low, fake out this structure at this left shoulder here. I think this could have been an interesting entry. But yeah, overall, again, I'm still a little bit cautious because I would like to see price going slightly higher. Price is reacting from this supply, which is still fresh, all right, but I would definitely like a little bit higher. Pound yen, all right. Yeah, pound yen finally managed to break out this structure, right? This size in here that you wanted, and you're looking for price to get a little bit closer eventually to that level. There's some zone in here on the world time frame where price may react from, but overall, as you can see, this was the spike in here, as you can see. But overall, we are a bit more bullish in here on the pound yen, just the same way that we are more bullish as well on the pound pairs in general. All right, but yes, we may have a little bit of structure in here, and then price will eventually go to the upside, right? So that's basically the move that we have. Price breaking structure, breaking highs in there. That doesn't mean that price will just move in a straight line. It's actually kind of finding some sell pressure after taking these lows. But we still definitely need a proper break to the downside to open the door for price eventually to go all the way until here. I do see this one as being one of the targets to aim for eventually. All right, not straight away. Price definitely can bounce from here first and even go to the upside. So that's actually the first target that we can look for after breaking these lows, is to react from here, and then maybe can continue. But eventually, if you do have a proper engulf to downside, maybe from these levels, then you can look for or aim for that target all the way until here. So that's just something to keep an eye on here on the yen pairs, right? And in particular, in this case, on the pound yen as well. There you go. You start finding a little bit of a sell pressure at this point in here. Yeah, moving along, we have Aussie CAD as well. That's one that we have been tracking as well. So price respected perfectly these lows. So it continues to go higher. We managed to break highs, we mentioned. So price has been managing to break highs. It was not really reacting from anything relevant at this point, and we are looking for price eventually to go all the way closer to this level in there. All right, so again, there's going to be more compression here, more ups and downs, and price bouncing in between, more selling pressure. Eventually can even retest these lows one more time. So we'll see. Now we have this structure as well that price can maybe retest and go. But that's another pair to keep an eye on. But at this point, I'm a bit more bullish in here. until price eventually is going to go yeah, a little bit closer to maybe something in there. Yeah, so something to just keep tracking this pair in here until a potential turn happens. Looking at dollar CAD again, similar to dollar CAD, to the dollar index, within this range, basically didn't even move, and it is what it is. We have that level that eventually we're going to aim for. Basically, price for testing this previous level in here, but you're looking maybe price to go slightly higher, the same way that we are still bearish in here. Looking at the other CAD pairs, we have Euro CAD basically turning as well. All right, so let's see, price now starts to go slightly higher. Bigger picture, I'm still kind of a bit bearish in here, but now price is in the middle, can do whatever it wants, can even retest all the way until this level. This is one of the first targets in here, same way that now can retest all the way towards this level in there as well. And I still like the idea of eventual price faking out all this before a push down, but again, that's too far away from it. I'm just going to keep an eye and tracking as well this Euro CAD to see if it gets into a better level in here. All right. Yeah, guys, if there's any asset that you want to analyze, that you're looking for, feel free to let me know in the chat. You can take a look at it together. Yeah, pound CAD as well. So big turnaround in here. So basically we retested all this extreme. That was a target from these lows. Retested that level. Didn't really manage to break it. So one of two things would happen in here. The price breaks it and starts open door to go further down, or it respects and obviously it turns, and there you go. Like again, we are still bullish in here on the pound CAD. Prices which we're breaking. Recently I managed to break out these highs in here, and maybe price still wants to go closer to this level in there. So that's basically where we are on the pound CAD. We have been looking for those sells. Initially price broke this structure, but now that it filled this space, yeah, that's done. Target was reached in here, and now we are maybe looking for price and pound CAD in particular to break new highs from this structure in here. Yeah, so moving along. So yeah, pound CAD. Next, dollar franc Swiss, like with interest rate, basically didn't move whatsoever, right? Spike down, retest, stayed in here, and now looks like it's making a little bit of a selling pressure. Price never really managed to break above this high neither. So yeah, not really much to look at. And then you had gold as well, really strong momentum to the downside, and just respected this next level, and now is about to challenge the highs again. Again, on gold, we need to start seeing some breaks of lows even before attempting to look for sells. All right, so again, there's sell pressure definitely as prices continues to break new all-time highs and getting more expensive. There's maybe some sell pressure, but as you can see, it's fight back straight away from the buyers. Like the buyers just jump into the market immediately, and the response is yeah, it's quite strong still in here from the buyers, and really holding the lows. Silver, interesting. Silver managed to break the highs. All right, so silver managed to break these highs created all the way back in May, and now we have more room to the upside. Like we managed to break above this 32.5. Now we definitely have more room to go in here. Right, there's we have all this structure in there, so there may be some levels in here that price can bounce from. If we cut this high as well. Yeah, so that's something to pay attention to in here on silver, and if the momentum to the upside is going to continue or not. Yeah, don't have enough data. All right, so that's something in there to pay attention to. Yeah, after the fake out, strong move downside. I still like even this level in here. Price even didn't even got to that level, so you can even fake out these lows in here into this zone. So yeah, but overall still kind of bullish on silver. And then we have oil, which made a really strong push downside again. Right, so we kind of looked at that top. That was something that we predicted beginning of this week. and then you start having this big momentum to the downside. A lot of selling pressure in here, maybe situation in the Middle East. It's maybe one of the reasons for this sell-off in here, as we are getting now close to the extreme in here at the lows, and that's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen afterwards, if it's going to find some level of support at around this level or not. Yeah, eventually this low is here. In here is a target. Price already respected everything. Eventually, we're looking for price to go below that low into something in here. Yep, and you have that one as well. So really strong momentum at this point. Brent kind of the same. So all this was compressed, kind of as we mentioned in here. So price is free to go, or was free to go all the way. No surprise that price will just actually print a strong candle in here, since everything in here was compressed. Talked about that yesterday as well, and where price is targeting is already getting closer to that low, and you can even go below that one as well. So yeah, so that's it. That's basically what we have, right? So we have core PC tomorrow, which is going to be an interesting one. Again, I don't really think it's going to have too much weight at this point on the Fed and Fed Chair Powell in terms of the decision for the next rate cut. I think the inflation is basically done. I think price and inflation is moving in the trajectory that the Fed was planning, so I'm not really concerned about that, unless there's a surprise to the upside. Again, as I mentioned, I'm more concerned with the labor market than anything else at this point. So looking at the market, we start seeing some selling pressure from the indices. It's going to be interesting to see how actually the indices are going to finish today. If it's going to go all the way back close to the highs, or if we are going to manage to break the walls. Like, that's the key point at this point on the indices for me, is are we going to manage first to break this double low that was created just a few hours ago before reaching the highs, or are we going to go straight away back to the highs and eventually create new highs on the indices in the end, just continue the bullish momentum. That's point one. Point two, in terms of the dollar, let's see which direction is going to go, especially with the euro and the pound. I could see more upside as well, but I'm going to be curious to see if the euro, for example, is going to respect yesterday's highs or not, and finding a little bit more of selling pressure. That's something, or is going to just continue with the momentum to the upside. And since we now just broke a new, the most recent highs, or the high from the last 2 months, if we're going to continue to have that momentum, which means that the dollar would aim to target the double bottom that we have in here. Looking at not just euro dollar and pound dollar, but also eventually New Zealand looks nice as well, and Aussie in here. Looking at the yen pairs, like we continue to have this negative move to the downside on the yen index. It's starting to get really close to the lows, to that demand zone. So we may start continue to look for this compression movement to see more buy pressure into the yen pairs, which means that selling pressure on the individual yen pairs, euro yen, dollar yen, and so on. Maybe we can start seeing some sell pressure in there as price also approaches that high, which can be quite interesting. So that's basically what I'm going to be looking for. In terms of commodities, I'm looking for oil to now retest the lows. We predicted the top, price turned quite aggressively. It's done. Now I'm looking to see how price may react now at these lows. On gold, good sell pressure, but price just keeps respecting the lows, so I'm not really touching gold just yet. We had silver breaking also important highs back from May, so we may have a continuation a little bit to the upside, or maybe a little bit of a range now to see what direction wants to go next in here. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be looking for. So indices, is there more sell pressure at the highs? I want to pay attention to that. Oil at its lows, yen pairs, I'm going to be looking for more sales as price continues to go to the upside. Then you have the dollar index and the dollar related pairs, which I'm going to be curious to see if there's a PA to look for shorts at the highs on the euro, or if price just wants to continue to go to the upside, which means that the dollar would also take the lows. So that's basically it for tomorrow, and it's the last day of the week, which means that I will see you guys back on Sunday for the weekly market analysis. So good luck for tomorrow. Continue to respect your own trading rules, your risk management, and so on. And we'll speak again on Sunday. Like and subscribe if you got any value. Please feel free to share, to comment, and let me know if you are getting value from these streams as well. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye bye.